Hello and welcome. My name's Harry Waters, and you're watching Renewable English. This week is Fashion Week, and we're looking at the real fashion victim, the planet. So, here we have today's objectives. Let's have a quick look. So, now we're ready. Now we're ready to get going with the class. First up, we're going to look at some of the vocabulary that's going to be really important for today's class and fashion in general. Let's check it out. So, today's objectives: to look at the issue of fast fashion, to look for alternatives, think about how we can make a change, some top tips on avoiding fast fashion, and as always, our planet promise. Let's start by taking a look at some of the vocabulary that's going to be really important for today's lesson, and going forward, just thinking about sustainable and fast fashion and how we can make less of an imprint on our planet. The pause button's there if you need it. So what do you think the first picture is? What do you think this first picture could be? Have a guess. What do you think this is? It is sustainable fashion. So fashion that causes less damage to the environment than your typical fast fashion or your high street fashion stores. Also, almost always fashion that is using natural fibers as opposed to synthetic fibers. We'll look more at those in a moment. So what do you think about the next picture? What does that look like to you? Take a second. They are synthetic fibers, man-made fibers, your polyesters and your nylons and so on and so forth. A huge reason behind microfibers and microplastics in our water supply. It's not great, let's be honest. The next one over here is fast fashion. You know, every week there's a new style here, there's a new style there. If you watch our full-length interview with Cherie from Sustainable Fashion Matters, she talks a lot more about fast fashion, an industry she used to work in. The next one, my favorite, second-hand. Have a look around you. How many things that you own were second-hand? I can see a fair few in here. Both of these bookshelves for a start, and most of these books are second-hand. So I think it's a great thing buying second-hand. It's also a great thing gifting second-hand. So let's focus more on that side of things. Let's try and get pre-loved items, be it clothing or be it furniture or electrical items. Let's look second-hand first. The next picture is the consumer. You, me, Billy on the street. The person who is buying the product. Now, if we as consumers can reduce our consumption and our addiction to fast fashion, and finally there, we've got natural fibers, your linens and your cottons and so on and so forth. The things that when you wear them, you don't tend to smell bad. Have a quick sniff check the next time you wear clothes. If you're wearing pure and more natural fibers, give it a sniff after you've worn it. And I bet it doesn't smell too bad. But your polyesters and all your sports clothes, if you've been wearing a football shirt, for example, I bet that really stinks. So that's the vocab for today. What's up next? You know what it is. It's time for Unfun Facts with that beautiful assistant of mine. So I'm going to hand over to him for some Unfun Facts.
Unfun Facts!
So, Unfun Facts today. The first one. The fashion industry is responsible for 8% of CO2 emissions. That's a lot. It's also responsible for 35% of the microplastics found in the ocean. Now, as far as water is concerned, it takes 7,000 litres to make one pair of jeans. That's like 5 years of drinking water. Ridiculous. And it's 2,700 litres for a t-shirt. How many t-shirts have you got? Go and check. See how much water's been wasted. Do you need that many t-shirts? And finally, 20% of water pollution is caused because of dyeing and manipulating textiles. Just not okay, really, is it? Back to you, mate. Have a shave, mate. That guy and his beard. So, they were the unfun facts. Now let's have a look and see how many you remembered with the true or false section. Here are the questions that are coming up. Hit the pause button. Is there? And then we'll go through and see how many you can remember. So, the fashion industry is responsible for 5% of carbon emissions. What do you think? It's more like 8%. That's quite a lot just for clothes. Fashion is responsible for up to 35% of the microplastics in the ocean. 35%. That's over a third. And that's true. Do you really need it? I didn't think so. So why are you buying it? Just leave it in the shop. It's a bargain. Oh, there goes the mic. Mic drop. It's a bargain, as I just said. Who cares? Do you need it? I didn't think so. So it takes up to 7,000 litres of water to make a pair of jeans and 2,700 litres to make a t-shirt. What do you think? Is that true or false? It is true. Think secondhand or again, do you really need it? And the final unfun fact, about 9% of industrial water pollution comes from the treating and dyeing of textiles. True or false? Not even close. So false. It's more like 20%. Absolutely ridiculous. So how many of those did you get right? Next up, we're going second-hand shopping. Somebody I know needs a new hat and a new shirt. Let's watch the video and answer some questions. I'm in the centre and I'm off to find a second-hand shop, a charity shop. I need a new shirt and a new hat. Remember, when you're shopping for clothes, it's very important to make sure you need it and you don't just want it. That's one option. This fancy cotton shirt, but I prefer this floral design. I think I'll go for that one. Well, there was no luck on the hat, but I did get a new shirt. I'm going to start looking at some apps to see if I can find a more suitable summer hat. So I've had a quick look through a couple of apps, and here are my top 4 choices. What do you think I should choose? Which one's best? Which one will suit me the most throughout the summer? Let me know in the comments below. Right then, so you've seen the video. Now it's time for the questions. I've got a special guest who's popped in who'd like to see what the answers are. So let's check this out. Say hello then, Ali.
Hi.
This is our top tipper, as you may know, it's Ali. So, what are the items Harry needs to buy in the video? If you need to press pause. Otherwise, write your answer on your worksheet. So, what are the items? Let's have a look and see. Harry needs... What does Harry need, Ellie?
A hat.
And?
A shirt.
Exactly, or a shirt and a hat. Which item does he find in the shop? Which item of clothing does he find? What do you think it was, Ali? Do you remember?
No.
What did Daddy get yesterday?
Daddy.
Did he get a new old hat or did he get a new old shirt?
Got a new old shirt.
I got a new old shirt. Exactly. He got his shirt. Oh, what pattern does the shirt have? Ooh, that's a good question.
Lunares?
Ooh, lunares. That's polka dots in Spanish. But it's not polka dots, is it? It's a floral pattern.
How can I know? Because I haven't watched the video.
She hasn't watched the video.
I just came in.
Outrageous.
I just came in, Daddy.
Okay. And the last one, what decision does Harry need help with at the end of the video?
Which hat to buy?
He needs help on which hat to buy. Good. How did you do? Did you get all 4 right? Let me know in the comments below. Now that was a lovely treat to have our top tipper in with us. So it's time for the interview. This week we're speaking to a sustainable fashion guru. We'll see very shortly all about Cherie from Sustainable Fashion Matters. But before we watch the video, let's have a look at the questions we're going to be looking for. We need to know what inspired Cherie to get into sustainable fashion. You can see the questions below. The next question. Where does Cherie recommend we look? Where does she recommend we look? What are some of the problems with polyester? What are some of the problems with polyester? You can see this question's a little more difficult. What does Cherie say we should do before we buy an item of clothing? And in around 50 words, describe why fast fashion is bad for the environment. So when you're ready, let's watch that video. Welcome to Renewable English. It is now our 7th interview of the series, and I'm joined today by Cherie, who is the freelance photographer. She's the founder of Sustainable Fashion Matters and Creative Matters Fund. Thank you very much for joining us. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, if that's okay.
Sure, go for it.
So the first one is, what inspired you to get into sustainable fashion?
Yeah, I worked in fast fashion for almost 4 years as creative director. of a fashion company, and there, although I had already kind of this great appreciation towards like a quality product, it was still like a job I had. The essence of it was so in contradiction to me, that I thought, wow, at that point I was like already not buying new stuff, like barely ever buying a new item of clothing, or really looking that it's a high quality piece. But then I thought, at the same time, I'm trying to make sure we sell more and more every month. And you see just all this stuff being returned, and we faced like issues of other items where there's like a button missing, or like small little faults of what to do with it. And we didn't want to throw it away, but we were like, how can we, what are we going to do with this? I felt like I was really creating just waste in the end of the day. And at some point then I decided to quit my job, because I really, it just felt so off to do something so contradictory to my actual values. And then my journey to the network of sustainable fashion, the sustainable fashion community, really started.
Why is fast fashion so bad for the planet?
I can definitely recommend checking out our website, Sustainable Fashion Matters, and our fact page, because we have a great collection of just hard facts on the fashion industry, from water pollution, I don't want to name any wrong facts here, because I don't always have them on the top of my mind, but let's say, for example, a pair of jeans needs about 7,000 liters to be produced. The fashion industry is a huge polluter of water, huge creator of CO2 emissions. And so many products these days are just made out of polyester, which is not a biodegradable product. So when you look at the relation to what is being made, the quality of like that, and the usage that it gives us in relation to what it's taking away, or maybe giving us in terms of a negative impact, it's not an equal equation.
It's the production, it's the usage, and then it's after you finish using it as well. It's like, it's the whole journey of like this item of clothing, this polyester things and stuff like that, the whole journey of every step of the way, it's affecting the planet. What are some of your top tips to helping people kind of step away from fast fashion?
One thing I always do, if I buy something new, is just taking the time to think about, okay, what would I wear this with? And do I have something similar? And then imagining the situation, and then thinking about what of the two items would I choose. This has saved me from buying so many shoes.
So yeah, thank you so much for your help. Thank you so much for coming on today. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I'll see you around. Well, she's watched the interview and she's back for some more. So we're going to talk through the answers all together. So what inspired Cherie to get into sustainable fashion? Was it her job was in contradiction to her beliefs? Was it she wanted to design her own clothes? Or is it she loves linen? A, B, or C? Do you remember?
I think it's A.
Let's have a look. Correct. Very good. Well done. It is A. Let's see if you can remember the next one. Where does Cherie recommend we look? A, Into Our Souls. B, National Geographic. Or C, at the hard facts on her blog. What do you think? Do you know, Ali? Do you remember from the video?
I think it's A. C.
Yeah, I like the trick you did there. C. Okay. So some of the problems with polyester, we can see there, it isn't biodegradable and it releases microplastics. The next question as well, as it's quite difficult, I'll give you a few moments to read my sample answer. So there we go. What does Cherie say we should do before we buy an item? I mentioned it in my video too, but think. Don't just buy, think. So as with this one and the next one, you might want to hit pause to see the sample answer. So in around 50 words, describe why fast fashion is bad for the environment. There's an example. What did you get? Feel free to send me your answers, harry@renewableenglish.com. You can also send them to me at Renewable English on Insta, on Twitter. You'll have enough words there. And why not visit the YouTube page, right in the comments below. You can even go to our website and get in touch. So that's that. I don't know what it's time for now. What could it be time for now, Ali?
It's time for Ali's top tips.
Oh, who's going to give us those tips?
Me.
Fantastic. Right then, let's get over to the video and check out Ali's top tips.
Hello and welcome to Ali's top tips. Why not do a clothes swap with your friends and enjoy each other's clothes? Buy natural fabrics so you won't have to wash them as much and you won't be as smelly. Wear your clothes until they have holes and then fix them and wear them some more. Buy and sell your clothes on second-hand apps and even better, a charity shop. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. Bye!
Well, thank you very much, Ali, for those top tips. Let's see how many of those you can use and you can stick to. So it's nearly time. It's nearly the end of the show, the lesson rather. I'm going to ask you if you can send in a video. You can send in some top tips, maybe do a clothes swap with your friends, or get a video of you repairing your clothes after they're broken. Whatever you like. Here's the details. You can send it in to us to any one of those. So it's nearly time for the end of the lesson. What time is it now, Ali?
For the Planet Promise, Daddy.
Okay, it's time for the Planet Promise. This is mine. I, Harry Waters, promise to only buy what I need and to look for pre-loved items first. What's your Planet Promise? Send it in. Well, that's about it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week talking about health and beauty. So, thanks very much for watching. See you later. You gonna say bye?
Bye.